Hello YouTube, Infinite Magicraid community, Gandalf here. I thought I'd do a little bit of a meta update. I feel like it kind of stabilized, and I feel like I can go ahead and kind of share my team a bit. Hopefully it doesn't reinforce the meta. That's not the intent of this video. I really like it when players come up with creative ways to use the heroes available in game. I think we're in display phase, but let's see. Just looking at my own win rate here. So my win rate was 95% this week, third highest in the guild. I skipped all my battles. Probably could have went higher, but again, I was lazy. We had an easy week. Probably not the best um, measure since we don't have Bushido in the top six this week. However, we're going to do a little bit of Advanced Arena since Advanced Arena is on this week. Um, let's go through what the meta kind of looks like right now. It's in probably a healthier state than I realized because originally it was, in my mind, it was going to be just you need to figure out how to beat Wukong because pretty much you have like the tankiest team alive there, and you need to throw pretty much everything at it. When you throw everything at it, it makes it weak to control teams. So we do see control team in the meta again, and of course control team is weak to Panda. So we have the very fine balance of the rock beat rock paper scissors situation right now. And what you see pretty much on every team, you kind of see that theme. You got a speed cleave team of some sort. You got your super tanky Wukong team. And sometimes people run a secondary speed team, but also we see control teams, uh, some sort of control setup, like either Nizil Santa combined or Nizil just one Nizil to kind of screw them up a little bit. Then you do see a lot of teams where you are, you know, control heavy. You do see two control teams now because people tend to, always try to have one that deals with. I think probably if I wish I did this recording yesterday, but or kind of started showing. Let's see if we can actually still see it. Guild Arena. Can we see our link? No, we can't see our link. You can pretty much see everyone's lineup, and you get a sense of what it's like. So I'll talk about my team specifically in a bit, and how I find it pretty consistent in terms of beating most of the teams out there without changing my lineup to target on anyone. But basically, you're looking at some sort of tanky variation, a speed cleave that deals with the monkey team, and then you got something that's anti-control blended in with speed. I wish I have Jingle Bell E3. I took out my Nita for it. Nita would do more damage, but Jingle Bell allow me to go up against Nita teams, which seems to be in either a control team right now or another speed setup. So this helps me quite a bit. So again, we're going to be going against pretty strong players. We'll purely auto them. We're not going to manual. And you can see how this really helps in the current meta in terms of the lineup. What I like to do is using my tanky team is what I like to do is run a super fast Donald, and there's a lot of good reason for that because it really stalls them. It doesn't stall things like Machio. In fact, this actually makes me a little bit worried given how high stat they are. But when you run into things like uh, Nita and you can outspeed the Elec, it really allow you to be have having use to be able to use to be able to use this team as a very good generic option for all sorts of situations. Of course, your typical Donald being high crit, high damaging also works perfectly fine to go after the strip either from Wukong or from Henlo works perfectly fine as well. Like just for me, I like to throw people off with a super fast Donald. And of course, here's pretty much one of the most consistent setup I've seen is to replace your Nita and Elec with a bunny. Big Jack setup again to take advantage of high speed, but this makes this team super vulnerable to control teams. So on defense, you would not run something like this. I'll show my defense team in a sec in terms of my thought process. So on defense, again, what I'm trying to do is this is the old classic Nita team, which takes advantage of the fact that you do have some sort of anti-CC. You have you have the really strong, sort of strong um, uh, defensive team, and then throwing people off. You can't CC this. So when you run Space Panda, you want to run super slow Panda. Like I'm not actually wearing a pair of boots. That's part of the tip to it. Just so that he's so slow, he's going to get the 50% to throw people off. So when it's on defense, you want to cheese people, right? You want to put in tricks. A lot of people have Panda now. If you have exclusive 2 and higher, highly recommend building a Panda with high res but super slow. Um, and of course, my Lydia often is on auto attack, just so further to screw up someone by auto attacking and hopefully hitting their turn meter boosting hero like their popper or their space, so that I will end up going first. We can take a quick look at my battle record on defense. For the most part, it's wins. Okay, it's for the most part it's wins. Even people like Steve and Bandana, I'm able to stop one of them. I don't Pongo here. I think I stopped one of them as well. For pretty much for the most part, like you can look at my defense, even against Reaper, I stopped one of them, right? So this is a really good defense. Even Lord, okay, maybe not Lord Eric, but pretty much every other player, Mac, okay, Mac managed to get all three, but for the most part, pretty much, this isn't even Liwa, right? Like two of my teams stop theirs, right? Because it's very baity. You think this team can cleave me? Nope. Very fast Donald here to stop you. And here you can't really CC this team because as soon as my popper goes, Big Jack is going to go. And as soon as Big Jack go, Focus is going to get the extra turn and Nita's going to cleave second time. So it's a very, very baity team setup. So that's kind of what the meta is right now. And I love the diversity. So enough talking. Let's go into some offensive teams. So you can see I'm using similar but slightly different teams between defense versus offense. On defense, you really want to balance things out. And on offense, you want to set it up in a way that that helps you just target the general weakness. And this allows me to go ahead without having to switch team too often. So again, looking for the most tankiest team, I do it here. Here I'm really torn between using this on the first team versus this. I think the second team is really tanky. I wish I have the Jingle Bell to be able to pull it off, but I don't think I have it. So it's really tough. Like let's just go with it. It's June. Yeah, let's just go for it. I think the first team is gonna win. Second team, it's gonna be a toss-up because I don't do enough damage. My Jingle Bell is an E3. Don't exactly have the best set of stats on it, and June, of course, very high stats. But here's the thing, right? When you don't have a full setup, you're not going to be able to do the same type of damage on your Machio. But the moment you try to have a Machio that's strong enough to kill one of these team, it's just going to be vulnerable. So it actually makes it perfectly balanced. So I know when Wukong came out, I was super worried. I was like, oh my God, what has the meta become? Um, this is very concerning, right? Oh, you see how tanky this is? Because if you have Wukong on there, and I'm gonna have to skip this one. Uh, I wonder if I had a different sort of setup. I mean, you do have to deal with two tanky teams, right? That's kind of the problem a little bit there. Okay, so against June, we lost one. Um, I'm gonna skip Lord Eric. Let's see if we can get the 3-0 back against Mr. Mac here. Again, very nice setup here. pairing Wukong with kind of a freeze, just so that Wukong won't be weak against that particular situation. We will go after him. I think we'll try to go after him this way. Um, like this is kind of redundant, right? Like I've thought of a different setup. Like I have thought of this a setup like this also being very versatile because you do have enfeebleness on what's her name? Ronai, right? So Ronai, if Ronai has enough effect to hit, you could go for it and get the feebleness to get the 40 extra damage, but you're losing the attack up. And I also have oh, we'll show this team in more detail when we go to Classic Arena. So we'll still leave it the way it is. Sorry, shouldn't have done that. I have a bad feeling it's not gonna be enough, but well, we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try. Yeah, the first team should be fine. Second team, I don't think I'm fast enough, but well, we'll see how it goes. The second team is really about who goes faster. Um, we'll talk about this team build because I know a lot of people are wondering at this point, but I think enough content creator has covered how to deal with Monkey or Wukong now. So I'm not too concerned, but let's see. My Wukong team versus his Wukong team. Um, let's see if this is well built enough. I'm a little bit worried. And the nice thing here is Agatha can't steal these shields, right? But Agatha definitely can steal the other shields. Oh, so close. So close. There we go. All right. Um, Not exactly that impressive yet, right? Given the fact that I'm not even 3-0ing people, but of course, when we're looking at easier opponents, it's a different story. Works so much better. Um, I think at this point in the game, it's still very much a stats heavy comparison. When I'm versing people in equal bracket in terms of just sanctuary level, this team setup does work relatively well. The challenge comes into play when you have to kind of go above your level um, and trying to beat people with very meaty stats. Now let's talk about alternatives. People are probably wondering at this point is, um, you're just showing your team of full limited heroes. What do I do as a free to play? Um, on my channel, there is a section on team building, and really building turn two team and turn one team is very consistent that way. So let's talk about some alternative options that work really well. So one hero in here is Zora. Okay, so Zora, um, although you can't pair up focus with Zora, where's Zora? Um, there are a few heroes, especially they put it in the beginner chests, that work exceptionally well. Oh, Moshi's the other one. Like Moshi's a great substitute. Maybe not in a team like this, but Ristler with Moshi, or even the new Sega City teams that I've talked about in a past video, that works really well. Like Moshi Fashion with Judge Lu is a very good setup that you can do to replace like a team like this. Putting a panda in there and you're set, right? Like so it's really versatile. Um, Donald, Santa, Nordak, you can probably get now. You get at least one free copy of Wukong, right? So that Wukong will probably go in your Sega City team is an option. Um, Zora. So with Zora, you can like here, let's just see what happens when we put Zora in, right? Because Zora is gonna be able to um, Zora does a lot of direct damage when there isn't poison on the target here. Let me put Zora in here just to showcase what that might look like. Um, Probably gonna have to edit this way. Now Zora probably isn't best to set up with Focus. It's probably better to set up with something like a turn to Bisiden. But nonetheless, here, let me just put my Bisiden in here, just so that we can kind of get a sense for how that works. Here, we'll do this on Zora and see how hard she hits. Over here, we'll still use our other team. Um, yeah, I think I'm faster, right? I should be faster. It would be embarrassing if I'm not. But here, the last team is tanky enough, so let's go with that. Zora can ignore defense, hit 3 times. Um, it, 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 it hits very hard. Okay, see the amount of damage there? Hopefully that's impressive enough. Um, Ideally, you set it up so that you kind of, go twice. But oh man, what did I have done? What have I done? Okay, hopefully I still win this. There you go. That's a lot of defense ignoring there. So if you can somehow set her up so that she goes, then you biss it in for a second one, will be very, very nice for Zora. Um, of course, Mekio is a very good option for players. On your slow tanky teams like this one, right? If you're free to play, you can actually go after Madalena. That's a mythic hero from Eternal Sect. She works really well against tanky team because she can really stack up when the enemy is healing. So there's very good options, alternative options, so you don't feel like you are you're looking at these limited heroes only. Let me just change my team back. Unfortunately, I still do want to run my prior team since the bracket we're in. Since we're all the way up here in King. Uh, just gonna quickly make sure everything's set up. So you can see I have 2 set of gear, right? Like 1 set on fast, 1 set on slow, just so that it's perfectly speed tuned to go right after the other hero. These very small details I talk about in a lot of my mechanics videos. So if you haven't seen them, please go, you're welcome to go check it out on my on the channel to take a look at it. Um, I have seen this composition quite a bit, where you go Santa, Permafreeze, pretty much Santa with Nazil, with Popper, and also Donald. This makes it super annoying to deal with, just simply because like a team setup like this, because Popper return me to reduce you, like you're forced to use the Panda team against it. You can't even use this team against it because today, like we run a lot of these monkey teams, some with Panda, some without. And normally you want to put Panda on a different team now, just because everyone's kind of running control meta right now. So having a having it spread out that way does give you a little bit more flexibility. Um, except when you have a Donald in there, it does, make the situation just a little bit more trickier. Like in this situation, I almost prefer to have Nita because Nita, one cleave for Nita is enough. I can waste the first one on the Donald. So like the reason why I'm not switching teams around is actually to demonstrate more of the variety of teams we're actually seeing right now. And extending that to Guild Arena where you're kind of forced to use three teams. I spend the week usually using the exact same team, practicing, trying to figure out what is the optimal setup to beat as many teams out there as possible. We'll see how this goes, but not exactly that optimal of a setup here. Um, the last team we're gonna get CC quite a bit, but I do believe it's tanky enough to survive it because the cleanse should work relatively well. So here you can see Jingle Bell did get targeted. Now, if your Jingle Bell is E3, right, like you're gonna hit way harder than this, because you start in like the special mode. So here I kind of got lucky because my opponent isn't too high of stats. Let's try to pick someone a little bit tougher. Jamie. Jamie's really tough. Jamie has very high stats. I'm gonna get outsped across the board, but here, if you look at his team, what I'm gonna hope for is that if his Lydia actually CC me first, I'm gonna be able to outbeat him because of the turn meter gain. And over here, I don't think his Nita is gonna be able to kill this team. That's also the part when you start taking in Bunny and you take out Alec, you can stop their Nita, right? Um, because their Nita will not have the electron transfer to protect from Donald. But I have a bad feeling about the last team because I think his Donald counterattacks hit so hard. I fought him in Classic, so we'll see. Okay, so see, um, this is where the Panda really helps in that situation. Oh my God, the that's a little absurd in terms of how tanky he is. Really, just with one Lydia buff, I can't even hit through him. Wow, that was that kind of caught me off guard. How holy sh that Nita did take a lot of turns, but fortunately, we managed to take it out. Oh yeah, so there's another part, right? I think what people are also doing is see Bunny is gonna cleanse into Nita and make it fast enough to have the big jack follow. So sometimes people on these teams wouldn't run that super fast jack because you only need about I think 2300 or yeah, and to pair with a 3K jack is enough. So but unfortunately this team still isn't enough to deal with I don't even have a Lydia on this team, right? And it's fine in terms of tanking through. And then the last one is his super. Did you see how much damage that was? Like if he actually had, us just take a moment and look at his Donald, like 400 crit damage? 400 crit damage? What is he on? Okay, shield smash. And his echo? He's not even using an insane echo here, but oh my god. Let's hope I don't lose because this is gonna be super embarrassing. Oh, that's close. Lydia comes in clutch. Whew. See, this is what happens when you try to let's do one last one with devious. Oh my God, 2900. I think I'm gonna lose, but at least, we can go down. So again, we're treating all of these like how we do guild arenas. So first team, you can definitely survive it, I think. I hope. This kind of monster stats. Um, I'm gonna manual the last one. I'm gonna do the poke. I'm gonna do the poke. Just so that I don't lose. Um, so much for saying that I'll auto all of these fights, right? Oh God, this hurts so much. Oh, the other thing I noticed, I don't know if anyone noticed this or not. Wukong is really good in the sense that Wukong will prioritize cleaning up the control debuff almost. Oh my God, this is really embarrassing. I'm not gonna make it. Ow. Oh my God. Oh my God, that was close. So clutch. So clutch. The counter attacks are healing me. Counter attacks are healing. No. If that didn't kill me, it could have been different. Okay, so here we go. We go with the poke, and it should be over from here. Oh wait, 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 wait. Oh, there we go. One more poke. Okay, so we didn't lose. So we won 2-1. But there you go. Like this is a very solid team, right? Like you can see, like yeah, you're not expected to, we haven't lost a single one, right? 2-1, I will count that as a win. So finally, let's go into Classic Arena. I mean, just to highlight a lot of the other content creators have done. We're gonna show one more time, specifically the team setup here. Mekio, you want to build the best set is actually the Devouring set. Skill damage with attack up is the best set you can run with. Otherwise, just go with crit damage. Crit damage or attack set. All you need is crit damage and attack. That's all you need. So really trying to go for the rolls with a lot of attack up and crit damage, attack up and crit damage. That's what you're looking for. Shield smash is still the thing to go with, but you want to use the sniper echo. So this gives you a ton of attack and crit damage. Because the key thing here is his on his when he's in advanced blaze, his fire is crit guaranteed, and there's 40% extra crit damage, additional piercing with target with debuff. Your popper is going to be able to land debuff, so you want to make sure he has high enough of effective hit. My popper here has 121 effective hit. For the aura, in this case, if you're just going for it, you could even go with an effective hit aura. You can take these out and put in effective hit blessings. Lydia, just your standard Lydia, you can do whatever you want here, but Combat Vanguard is a great way to get the attack up and Combat Vanguard the entire enemy team. Jack is just the standard Jack build, and Bunny is standard Bunny. Here, Popper, you can actually use the Wrestler Echo to just give some extra attack damage over to your Mechio. So this is a way to kind of optimize and maximize your damage on this team setup. So let's see, this is against someone who has way higher Sanctuary than me, and we should be able to have no problem blasting through. Okay, we're gonna many content creators I'm pretty sure have shown this, but here's just mine for reference. Stat wise, that's probably enough to finish things off. Okay, that's enough. Um, that's enough to finish things because, and then here is just you're just slowly, and the other thing with why you would like to use Bunny and Big Jack is just for the additional survivability because sometimes you don't get to kill the entire team, right? So having a little, it does take a while for this team to ramp up a little bit. Um, Again, in case you didn't see my stats, we'll do one more, just so you get a frame of reference. Like pretty much all the 700k, I have no problem beating. Here, let's take out another one. Um, we'll just take one more look at the Mechio just in terms of stat, right? Close to 60k attack. Crit damage is 340. I have seen people way higher, like for 400 crit damage with maxed out auras and everything. But here you go for point of reference. So yeah, we'll end the video on this note. Hopefully you enjoyed this meta update and it kind of helps you consider what to do in the meta. It's fine, right? Like it's totally fine. You just need to kill like two of the enemy. Like you're okay. Like even um, because usually you're able to finish things off after a few. It cycles Mechio's turn very quickly too. So you're fine. Um, But there you go, there you have it. In Classic Arena, basically you really need two teams. You need to kill the super tanky team, and if you run into the opposite, um, is you kind of just want to run your own monkey team, right? You're pretty much as the monkey team versus non-monkey team, because here is where you can put the you have the great option. Oh my God. You have the wonderful option of running Panda in here, which help you cleanse. Like no matter how many freaking layers you're gonna be faced with. But I'm pretty sure I can't beat Love Actually. This is a good example of if your team is strong enough, um, you can survive this. Pretty sure. Look at this. Like I'm pretty sure I killed it once, but it's not good enough. Oh God. See, there you go. He still beats me. Right? This is the insane stats difference. So there you go. I know people enjoy watching me lose. So there you go. There you have it. Here's just to show you guys, if your stats are high enough, it doesn't matter what you run. Your monkey team still can't stop that stuff. That's where you kind of want to run. Even against this team, CC is a little bit hard, right? Because a secondary because if his bunny is fast enough, the popper is going to get cleansed out anyways, and you can't freeze Jack. So it's just extra tricky business here to deal with. Plus the Ronai making everything super fast, very difficult. I did do a showcase on how to beat this team with, I think, Lydia and and Ascendo. Maybe we'll just do that. If I lose, I lose. But um, I do wanna give it a try though. Um, we'll run the Mechio here. Do Mechio, Big Jack. We'll do our own Lydia. Yeah, we got Lydia, Big, um, and we will do. Is that optimal? Yeah, that should be optimal enough. I think I normally run a space here. Let's do space and Rona here. There we go. Okay, let's give that a shot. Hopefully, it's gonna help me. So we start off with a CC everything. We want to stop the Ronai, turn meter boost, push everybody back, push the bunny back. Oh God. I'll leave the guy alone. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video, had a little bit of laugh, and I'll catch you guys next time. Gandalf out.